Donald Trump's war with Iran is still ongoing and keeps escalating day by day. As we know, ever since the war with Iran, the oil markets, the economy, people are getting injured. This is going back and forth. I'm stronger than you. No, I'm stronger than you. Missiles, billions of trillions of dollars are getting spent on this war.
A few days ago, we saw Iran strike back some parts of United States bases. And,
yes.
They broke some drones that cost millions of dollars. And also, Iran threatened that every bomb the U.S. sends, they're going to do 1.5x harder.
Yes. Basically, Donald Trump started this war, and right now the current situation is Donald Trump says he's going to bomb them, then Iran keeps on fear-mongering on Twitter every single day, saying that they're going to bomb them back 1.5x harder. And Trump yesterday got questioned about Iran with the ceasefire, and we'll play the video right now.
Everything's good, and I hate to tell you this, but we've got to take a little detour and go down to a place called the Islamic Republic of Iran, and we're going to have to stop them from having a nuclear weapon. That's what we've done. And they've agreed to that. By the way, if they sign the agreement, they will have agreed to, we will not have a nuclear weapon or bomb. We will not develop one. We will not buy one. Originally it was we will not develop. I said, what about if they buy? That went into a 2-week negotiation. But in the end, we got that. Now, we got it if they sign the paper. In theory, they're pretty close to signing a paper. We've actually gotten along with them very well. And you know what you saw for the last few nights? It takes two to tango. You understand that. We hit them very hard on something else, unrelated. And so they were responding. But, and not very strongly.
There was also attacks on Kuwait hitting a bunch of oil tankers, which is kind of massive since oil is right now the priority of this whole war.
A revenge strike from Iran.
Pretty much.
And we're going to play the video of that, of Trump speaking on this subject.
Mr. President, given Iran's attacks on Kuwait, this latest attack on Kuwait, is the ceasefire with Iran still on?
Well, there's a reason for everything. And we hit them pretty hard. The negotiation itself has gone very well, actually. Very well.
Mr. President, yesterday.
If it happens, it might not happen, who knows? But if it happens, it could happen like over the weekend. I think we have a very powerful deal that we're negotiating. The exact opposite as the Obama deal. The Obama deal was a disgrace. It gave them a nuclear weapon. We do the exact thing. Under our deal, they will never, ever have a nuclear weapon.
There have been lots of talks about Iran possibly in possession of a nuclear weapon. And as of yesterday, Marco Rubio got questioned about this. And here's the video on that subject.
Iran's desire to build a nuclear weapon was going to be effectuated behind a conventional shield. They were going to build for themselves so many missiles, so many drones, so many conventional weapons, including a navy, that at that point, there's nothing you could do about it. What they tried to do is they were going to try to build a conventional shield and hide behind that conventional shield and basically say to the world, if you come and do anything about our nuclear program, we will overwhelm you with missiles, we will overwhelm you with drones, and we will overwhelm you with our Navy, and you will not win. You will not be able to do anything about it. They were seeking that point of immunity, which is why the president chose to act, to deny them that point of immunity. Operation Epic Fury, some of you didn't like it, some of you did, was highly successful in achieving its military objectives, which is dramatically reducing the defense industrial base of Iran, the ability to build these missiles and to build these drones, especially the missiles program, substantially degraded. A substantial percentage, and I'll leave the exact numbers to the Department of War because I'm not a general and I'm not here to speak as a military planner, but a substantial degradation in the number of launchers that they have as well. They still have a lot of drones because these are easy to make. We all know it's not an Iran challenge. This is a global challenge. And it's playing out every single day around the world. I mean, Mexican cartels are using UAVs against each other. And we should imagine at some point may even use it against our interests. So this is a pervasive problem around the world. The economics of it are something we have to solve for. But nonetheless, even their drone building capability has been eroded. Today, there is no Iranian Navy. There is no such thing. There's a bunch of Boston whalers with machine guns on them, but there is no Navy. There is no Iranian Navy. It lies at the bottom of the ocean and will soon, within a number of years, be prime fishing spots because they'll turn into reefs. So my whole point is that the Iranian conventional shield has been substantially eroded. Now, in the aftermath of that, two things have happened. The first is they entered into a ceasefire. We agreed to stop. But part of that agreement was that they would reopen the straits. They did not, at which point the president decided, and I think appropriately, we can't have a world in which only Iranian ships get through the straits. And so if they're going to shut down the straits for everybody, we're going to shut down the straits for them. And we have done that through a very effective blockade and, by the way, through the seizure of sanctioned ships in the Indo-Pacific as well. The cost to Iran every single day in lost revenue is in the hundreds of millions of dollars that they are losing in lost revenue that they're not generating as a result of that. Now, we are in talks, and I say talks because talks with Iran are not like talks with Switzerland, okay? They're very different. They require the use of intermediaries, unfortunately. But there is the prospect before us, which could happen today, it could happen tomorrow, it could happen next week, that for the first time, certainly in my memory, they have agreed to negotiate aspects of their nuclear program that just a month ago, just a year ago, they were refusing to even mention, much less enter into discussions about. That is not a guarantee that ultimately it will lead to a deal that's acceptable to the Senate or acceptable to the American people. But we'll be able to engage them in a process to truly test the proposition of how far they're willing to go. Complicating that process, unfortunately, is their internal regime is somewhat fractured in the sense of it takes days to get responses from their system. We can go into more depth in your follow-up questions. But we're hopeful that something like that could happen in which the straits would reopen, we would enter into a period of negotiations on very specific topics, delineated negotiations, in the hope of reaching an outcome that's acceptable to us and something that they would be able to do as well. If it doesn't work out, then obviously we still have a problem with respect to their nuclear ambitions. But what they won't have is the conventional shield to hide behind any longer.
Now, as seen, Marco Rubio gives us very high hopes, talking about possible negotiations and a peace deal. And as we know, Donald Trump has been mentioning that there could be a peace deal coming but a very overall positive speech about this war.
Yep.
And this was pretty much it for the video. If you enjoyed this, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe. This has been T and Matt on The Berube Show. Thanks for tuning in. Stay safe out there. Praying for your safety as always.